Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes and positivity your way, you guys. Well, positivity may not be going, so well for TJ Holmes and Amy ROBACH, because officially, you guys, breaking news, they've been fired. They are done at ABC. There's a source via TMZ that is calling this, firing a witch hunt, you guys. So let's get into it, and then I'm going to react. So it says TJ Holmes and Amy ROBACH are both out at ABC. TMZ has learned. Some sources that are connected to the network told us after a marathon of mediation sessions on Thursday, ABC and the two GMA3 anchors have severed ties and both will receive payouts per their contracts. We're told the mediation was extremely contentious, with ABC reps who were accusing both Amy and TJ of various forms of misconduct, which one source basically characterized as, quote, a witch hunt. That sounds very Donald Trump. We're told one of the accusations is that Amy had liquor in her dressing room, which the ABC folks said was a violation of policy. One source called the accusation ridiculous, noting that some of the bottles were sent from ABC News execs. The source said those execs sent other on-air talent liquor as well, so this just looked like a way to justify getting rid of her. We are told another accusation was that Amy went to the college football national championship game a year ago and came to work the next day drunk. One source called that insane, adding that she was simply tired. As for Amy and TJ, we're told that it became clear in mediation they did not handle their romance appropriately, waiting too long to disclose it to ABC execs. ABC also made it clear that their behavior on set was uncomfortable for some ABC staff. I told you guys. Our sources said the mediation would continue as both sides negotiate the fine points of Amy and TJ's exit. It is a stunning change from what the network initially said when the relationship was made public, stating that the two had not broken any rules as they were essentially considered equals on the show in their positions. It was December 2nd when both TJ and Amy were last together on GMA3 desk. ABC honchos pulled them as they investigated whether or not the couple's relationship had violated any company rules, or if any company resources had been used in keeping it a secret. We do not know yet what the two will do career-wise moving forward, but they certainly have not slowed anything down in the relationship department. Our sources say that they've remained a united front throughout the entire ordeal. So there's that. So I told you so, you guys. I told you that with how long they were off the air, if they, planned on just keeping them off or just say via the holidays, they would have been back at the beginning of this year, right? But the fact that this was going on 2 months, you guys, because next week is going to be February, this was going on 2 months since they last were on the air. It was a done deal. They were done. They were out. It was just going to be a matter of how they were going to spin this, right? Because TJ and Amy are not hiring lawyers, to have in mediations unless there is a dismissal, unless there is a termination of some sort. And as long as this went on, that was the case. And here's the thing. They had literally one job. Well, a couple of jobs, right? First of all, not to cheat on your spouses, right? That would have been like the obvious, right? But even if you knew that something was going to go romantic, you should have immediately told your employer, right? But again, this is what happens with cheaters and people who do not think ahead, right? They love the chase. They love the thrill of potentially getting caught, of seeing how far that they can go until they're exposed and everything else. And they never think about the future. They never think of the impact of their actions and how selfish they are being, not just towards their families, but in this instance, towards their careers as well. And the biggest mistake that Amy and TJ both made was making a mockery on set of their relationship once the tea dropped from the Daily Mail that they were, in fact, having an affair. They were making a joke of it on set. That is not how you respond when, basically receipts and pictures of you drop, of you grabbing, Amy or lack that of her behind, in photos, and you guys are both married to other people, right? That was not appropriate. Like, honestly, you guys shouldn't have been on air that week to begin with. I believe they didn't have Amy on that one day, but then she was on air for like the rest of the week or whatever. But again, it was just very pompous. It was very arrogant behavior. And once I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, they're done. They are done. And ABC is just biding its time, right? And because remember, Kimberly Goodwin got backlash for having them on the air after the announcement of them having this affair because of how they conducted themselves, right? That's what pissed off, Disney and the executives at ABC, because they're like, WTF? Like, we haven't even had an opportunity yet to investigate this to see if there was any violations or anything of that nature. And then next thing you know, receipts keep dropping of all of these other interns and producers and everything else that TJ Holmes has hooked up with and have these affairs with, basically since his tenure at ABC, you guys. Basically since at his tenure at ABC, and for most of the time that he's been married to his soon-to-be ex-wife, you guys. So it was already, just somebody who was abusing their power, abusing their position to hook up with people at the workplace and get a rise out of it, right? And Amy, I don't feel any sympathy for either, right? Because again, besides being a cheater as well, like, you knew of at least one of these affairs, right? You were friends with at least one of the producers that TJ Holmes was having an affair with, and you took it upon yourself. You wanted to try out the package yourself. Like, let's just keep it a buck for what it was, right? She's confiding to you about her problems with TJ. She's, confiding in you when things were on the up and up with TJ. And you were like, you know what? I need to find out for myself what the hype is about, right? And you did that, right? And you did that. But now the problem is, what is the cost, right? Are your careers done, right? I think TJ might be done, right? I think TJ might be done. Amy, she, obviously has been running a PR campaign basically since she's been suspended, since she's been off of ABC, to really set her up for another job, right? And I think the only goal was that they were hoping in some capacity that her and TJ could still have their jobs at ABC, right? And that they could still, if that was even possible, still both be able to work at the same place or whatever. But that was never going to happen, right? That was never going to happen with how all of this has been handled, with how all of this came out, with how all of this has been, basically just mocked in everyone's face. I think it was a mistake for TJ and Amy to, decide to go public with their relationship in the midst of this investigation, because again, it just looked very careless. It just looked very like, hey, we're in this together and ABC can take us or leave us. And ABC basically said, well, we can leave you. Now, as for the drinking accusations, I don't know what's going on there. I do remember previously that Amy did have, some times where she did take leaves of absences, if I'm remembering correctly, due to the alcoholism in her past, but I haven't heard of anything recently that was an issue as it pertained to her and alcohol. So I'm a little confused as far as what that has to do with anything, but that just tells you when a company is done with you and they want nothing to do with you and they're pissed at you for how you've made the company look, that they're just going to come at anything, right? They're just going to come at anything and be like, you know what? Oh yeah. And that bottle of wine that was sent to your office, that was inappropriate too. Like, they're just pissed. They are just absolutely done. But when the reports came out about, George Stephanopoulos and, Robin Roberts and everybody else who were just pissed, David Muir, who did not want to discuss anything pertaining to this affair at all, were pissed that this was going to be, the hot story for the past couple of months, and that it was messing with, their credibility and their reputation, because they had worked, basically from the ground up to get to the positions that they are at ABC, and they were not featuring any of this, you guys. They were not featuring any of this, and Robin's especially pissed because these were her friends, right? These were her friends, and she even asked them a couple of years ago when there was rumors of them, potentially having an affair, because people saw how good their chemistry was on camera together, and they vehemently denied it, But again, so now Robin's like, you know what? I am done. I want these people gone. They're a bad representation of ABC, right? And so ABC basically said, like I said a couple months ago, when they found TJ Holmes' replacement, right, for cheaper and everything else, that he was done. And ultimately it was just going to be matter of, is Amy going to be gone with him? That was really going to be the matter, right? Because if you guys remember those PR articles that kept coming out to where they were like basically trying to find a way to salvage things for Amy, and they were trying to make it seem like ABC was just really trying to keep Amy and not TJ. But the problem is they both were inappropriate. They both have been acting selfish. They both are, having the Paps follow them at the airport, having the Paps follow them in Miami, having the Paps follow them, on these different excursions so that they could try to prove to the world that they're actually in this together, that they're this happy couple and everything else. Not, mentioning the lies that they had been telling us for the past couple months, that they had already filed for divorce from their spouses, which was not true. And again, just trying to paint a narrative to the audience, but the problem is you cannot win when you do dirty, courtesy of Needy Leaks. You cannot win when you play dirty, and that's what happened here, right? Starting with the affair, starting with not disclosing at your employer that you are having a sexual relationship, so that nothing such as TJ Holmes's previous affairs with other people at ABC would not be coming out of the Woolworth, right? That could have been something that they could have handled. That could have been something that, could have been controlled had TJ and Amy Robach been transparent, right? But again, they were being so arrogant because they're like, well, this is a consensual relationship and blah, 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 blah. Even though they both are very much married to their spouses. They both very much went on double dates with their spouses. They both very much, their kids are babysitting each other and everything else. Like, this was a very close knit, group of couples and families that are completely torn apart by, the selfishness of these two. And that arrogance also transferred over to their job. And they got on air, basically were like, oh, keep bringing the hits, can't wait for this. Amy's like, I can't wait for this week to be over. And TJ's like, bring it on, bring it on, bring on everybody that I've ever hooked up with at ABC, because I'm not going nowhere. And ABC said, you know what? Yes, you are. They said, yes, you are done. We are done with the both of you, right? So we'll see what happens. Like I said, because Amy is Amy, she'll likely have another position somewhere. She'll probably end up on NBC or, CBS or somewhere else. As for TJ, I don't know. I think he's done. Because the problem now is he's a liability, right? He is a liability because basically he has a history now of, he has the Matt Lauer situation, and he's not even on the level of Matt Lauer, right? But he has the Matt Lauer problem basically where he has abused his position to take advantage of interns and producers and other females and, basically use that to his advantage and have an inappropriate relationship with them, right? First, tell them everything that they want to hear, and then it somehow goes left, right? It somehow goes left because you get arrogant, you get stuck up, and you think that you can get away with anything, right? And so then it gets to a point where you both can't coexist. Most of these women are no longer even with ABC. They're on other networks at this point, working in other positions because it's uncomfortable. Right? It's an uncomfortable situation once things all come ahead. And so the days were numbered for Amy. So I hope this was worth it. I hope losing your marriage, losing your family, and losing your job was all worth it. And that goes double for you, TJ, right? Because you weren't even on ABC's radar until Amy was vouching for you to get on the show, right? So again, your career is done. Right? We'll probably see you on a podcast or something, right? Because everybody and their mama has a podcast these days, right? But I don't see a situation where you're going to be major on any of these major networks anytime soon because you're a liability. You have the same problem as Matt Lauer, right? And you're black as well. So again, it's not going to happen anytime soon. As for Amy, like I said, her PR is working overtime. I expect her to find something else just because of who she is. But we'll see. We'll see if they lay the hammer on her as well, right? We'll see if other networks say, you know what? Due to how this affair came out, due to their behavior, we want neither one. We don't even want Amy with all of her experience, right? Because remember, Amy was gunning for Robin Roberts' job. She wanted that GMA job, right? And now that's obviously done. Obviously that's done, right? So there is that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.